I'm a 21-year-old junior Zimbabwean girl at SWAU. I'm so glad you decided to read my book. This was based on an actual true story of my first time going to Zimbabwe with my family and all the crazy adventures we encountered. It was quite the trip, and I hope you enjoy it and feel inspired enough to write your own. My trip to Zimbabwe.
Right, and I kind of did it backwards, and my dedication's in the back too. Okay, so my dedication is to my family in Zimbabwe. It's obviously bad pictures, but so basically there's a part in the story where we go to London. So this is my cousin from London when we went to go visit her. This is me and my brother when we were in Zimbabwe, and this is all my family, or like my younger cousins, when we were at a wedding. And so I said, this story is dedicated to my family. This experience of this trip and creating this book was only possible by meeting you all. Can't wait to see you guys in 2022, because that's where I'm going for my graduation present. So.
Aww.
That's great.
This looks scary. Okay. Hi friends, my name is Tadiwa, and this is my story about my family trip to Zimbabwe. My parents and my brother were born and raised in a country called Zimbabwe, which is in Africa. After 12 years of them not visiting Zimbabwe, they decided to finally go back to visit. But this time, they were taking my brother Tino to see where he was born and lived for 3 years, and for me to go for my first time. I'm thinking about my first time, he's thinking about food. That's my brother. We took 2 big planes to get there. Texas to London. First, we flew to London for our first layover and got to see my cousins, aunts, and uncles. I was so excited because this was my brother and I's first time meeting our family members from here. My family lived in Leeds, United Kingdom, which is 4 hours away from the airport. So once we got our bags, we got in the car and started our journey to the house. They all had cool accents, the food was amazing, and get this, their driver's seat is the right side. I thought this was the coolest place ever. After 2 days of fun and catching up with my family, it was time for us to leave for the airport. We were a bit sad, but we promised them we would come back. We would come back to visit soon. 2 hours in on our way, the police stopped my uncle. We were so frightened. By the time the police officer was done, he came to the car and told us that we need to find another way of transport to get to the airport. Oh no, my mother gasped. This can't happen now. The officer kindly took my family to the nearest hotel and we managed to get to the airport. But by the time we got there, the front desk worker told us we missed our flight by 5 minutes. We were devastated. Luckily, we were able to rebook the flights for the next morning, but just had to make sure we would make it on time. Next morning, after a good night's rest, we headed straight to the airport 2 hours ahead of time, just to make sure we most definitely would not miss our flight. We got on our second plane when it was time and flew to our next stop, South Africa. After getting our suitcases, we went down a long escalator. As we got to the end, I saw a man waving at us. I asked my dad, "Who is that guy?" My dad said, "That's my brother, your Uncle Mike," as he was excitingly waving his hand at him to greet him. I had the biggest smile on my face because my brother and I never met any of my dad's family because they all lived in Africa. We got off the escalator and ran to him and gave our greetings. Once we stepped out the airport, we took a big bus all the way to Zimbabwe to finally see my family. My brother calls me princess. He never calls me Geneva. But he said, "Princess, open your eyes. Look." My brother whispered. I didn't even whisper. I opened my eyes, and after a long nap, I realized at last we made it to my auntie's house, where my whole family was inside waiting for our arrival. The trip took a few days, 2 planes, a car, a missed flight, and a bus drive. But for my family's love, I wouldn't change a single thing. And